humanity pretended to go extinct and rebuilt civilization, and it was broadcast live. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1. Live Program, The Strongest Nation. Dear viewers, welcome to watch the Doomsday Survival reality show The Strongest Nation, jointly created by the top 10 financial groups. If human beings die out one day and you are the only one left on the earth, how will you deal with it? In order to find the answer, in the next year, challengers from China, Dongying, Yingjiang, Beijing, and Korea will be in the apocalyptic background of the human false extinction, deliberately created by the 10 major financial groups. Survival Challenge. This show is supervised by the Guinness World Records Notary Group, carefully planned by top experts from all walks of life, and no one will cheat, and each randomly selected challenger is also unaware of this. In the global live broadcast room of The Strongest Nation, the host King finished speaking. Behind the big screen. Divide into 5. At this point, players from 5 countries are ready. But right now they are in a coma and haven't woken up yet. Immediately after the hostess continued, in order to ensure the authenticity, as early as a month before the program started, the 10 major consortiums put on the fake news of Comet 354 hitting the earth on well-known TV stations around the world, and invited relevant experts to build a momentum, trying to create a doomsday the illusion that could come at any time. After selecting the challenger, the relevant staff arranged the scene in advance, hired professional actors, and introduced them into the corresponding world background without knowing it. Humanity is extinct. Wondering doomsday, how to survive alone. Who is the most vital nation on earth? Let's wait and see. The human false extinction scenario, where the 5 challengers are located, was decided by the delegations of the 5 ethnic groups by drawing lots. Some are cities, some are wilderness, and there are islands. Among them, Eagle Source chose an island city that was affected by a comet and human beings disappeared collectively. With the most abundant resources, there is no need to worry about food and clothing. The East Iron Kingdom chose the doomsday town after the comet hit the earth. Resources are barely passable. Although Beijing and Korea are not as good as the first 2 ethnic groups, but both are good. Of 5 ethnic groups, the toughest start is China's challenger Jiang Kui. The first picture on the screen is a challenger from China, Jiang Kui, 22 years old, a fresh graduate of the Department of History of Jiangnan University. It can be seen that the background of the holiday apocalypse is a deserted island deep in the ocean. At this moment, Jiang Kui is sleeping on the beach. There was only one pair of shorts. Compared to other ethnic groups in the city. This start is really miserable. After the results of the lottery were announced, many foreign audiences and media agreed that Jiang Kui would most likely not be able to hold on for a day. Not surprisingly, he must be the first to be eliminated. The hostess King introduced the basic situation of the 5 contestants. China time. 5 p.m. The show starts on time. Chapter 2. The original survival assistance system. At the same time. In the China live broadcast room of The Strongest Nation, it took less than 5 minutes for the show to air, and it has already accumulated more than 600 million viewers. Although Jiang Kui's start was not favored by many foreign media, his compatriots did not give up on themselves. Brother Kui, come on. It doesn't matter if you fail, you must show the grace of our Chinese nation. Yes, isn't the purpose of this show just to hit us in disguise? No way, we didn't do a good job at this level, the lottery is too unfavorable. Hey, so angry! Exclamation mark. But keep going please, don't embarrass us! Exclamation mark. In addition to ordinary audiences, many celebrities and official media also came to the live broadcast room to cheer for Jiang Kui. Western region's actor Gu Xiaoya, Jiang Kui, I believe in you, don't give up easily. Famous fighters Aoli, yes, even if you only persist for one day, everyone will support you. Well-known anchor Dasima, for us, this is not a fair game, but it is not a big problem. The anchor Danzaomi, it feels like nothing. Brother, don't smear our faces! Exclamation mark. Former gymnast Haoning, yes, you must compete well. China Youth Daily, the victory or defeat of the competition is not the most important thing, but it must show the integrity of our nation. Jiang Kui, you are the best, come on. Full screen pop-up. Crazy drifted by. At this time, China's famous hostess Lin Zhao and 3 experts have already sat in the studio of China sub-channel. Okay, dear viewers and friends, now the players have entered the designated scene, and the show will start soon. Today, we are honored to invite Professor Zhao Ping, an expert on humanities and history from Yanda University, and Professor Zhu Zening, an academician of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, a Nobel laureate in physics, and Professor Liang Ying from Jinling Medical University. So, as netizens said, this kind of start is indeed done favorable to our players. Professor Zhao, can you talk about your opinion? Zhao Ping nodded. This show is actually to verify whether human beings can withstand the double test of disaster and survival in the state of surviving alone. Jiang Kui's survival scene is an island. Compared with players from other ethnic groups, the start is very difficult, the environment is completely unfamiliar, and there is no sufficient food supply. If there is no strong psychological quality and survival instinct, the result is not optimistic. After Zhao Ping finished speaking, the views of the other 2 experts were similar, although they have expectations for Jiang Kui's performance point, but also respect the facts he'll start. Plus Jiang Kui is just an ordinary college student point compared with the special forces, athletes, and professional doctors of other countries. Jiang Kui's hope of successfully living to the end is really slim. Soon. The time came to 5:30 when hundreds of millions of spectators were looking forward to it. Raoul, a white commando from the Seagull Commando of the Eagle Source country, woke up first from his hotel room and slowly opened his eyes. As expected of the soldiers of our Eagle Source country. My god. Our Lowell was the first to wake up. It's time to show your true abilities. Lowell, don't disgrace our country. Lowell, prove to the world that our Eagle Source talents are the most vital nation. Subsequently, players from various countries also woke up one after another. On the beach, Jiang Kui also opened his hazy eyes and slowly supported his body. After a while. Just barely adapted to the hot sun of the tropical island. Brothers, Jiang Kui is awake. Come on, brother Kui. I'll go. Brother Kui's damn good looks. He's so handsome. Yan powder +1. Wake up, wake up. It should be okay to see the status. Come on, Jiang Kui. The nation's 1.4 billion people cheer you on. Looking around at the unfamiliar surroundings, Jiang Kui struggled to stand up. Trying to organize my memory. Some days ago. He was planning a graduation trip and was lucky enough to be selected for a 7-day Pacific Rim tour on a luxury cruise ship from an international travel agency. But as a result, the trip had just begun and a tsunami occurred. Raised waves. The cruise ship was completely destroyed. During the period, people kept shouting, "Comet is coming. Comet is coming," when life is at stake. Jiang Kui also saw a huge halo rushing towards the ground, causing an unprecedented explosion. Chapter 3. Does he seem to want to make a fire? Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have obtained drilling wood to make fire and basic knowledge of wilderness survival. Congratulations to the host. It has been 5 minutes to hang up in the wild and the survival point is +1. Next second point. Countless wild survival knowledge, incarnated as a stream of consciousness, poured into my mind. Botany, zoology, geography, medicine and more. Incredible with such an insane system. Not to mention surviving is to re-establish a civilization. Is it okay? Escape. An auxiliary system is also bound. Looking at the ocean in the distance, Jiang Kui laughed. I thought to myself, I shouldn't die as early as before Jiang Kui landed on the island. The program team installed thousands of cameras and countless invisible small follow-up drones in every corner of the island. There are almost no dead ends. So, the picture of Jiang Kui standing on the beach and giggling was naturally also photographed. Brother Kui is laughing. Did you know that human beings are all extinct and people are crazy? No way. To be reasonable, in this case, the human heart is very fragile and easily collapsed. Hey, it feels like we may really have no hope this time. At the same time point many foreign viewers also came to the China Live broadcast room after supporting their own players. The purpose is to see Jiang Kui make a fool of himself. When they saw Jiang Kui laughing, some trolls hurried to seize the opportunity. Haha. Is this Chinese person scared and stupid? Nanny? Not scared to cry, but scared crazy. Haha. Poor Chinese people, have they lost their minds? Soga. Are you scared yet? See it? You Chinese people, you can play tricks. Just woke up like this? Later, when it gets dark, I'm afraid I'll be scared to the point of feces and urine. China pig, it will be dark soon. Are you ready to surrender? Facing the ridicule of foreign audiences, domestic audiences fought back again. But anyway, Jiang Kui's situation is too difficult. Whether it can survive the first night is unknown. By comparison, Raoul, the challenger of the Eagle Source country, has found the city's arsenal and armed himself. Before leaving, the star-spangled flag erected outside was destroyed with one shot. The expression is very arrogant. Afterwards, he scoured a convenience store and went to the rich area to find a large villa and directly broke into the door violently. Hu Chihei had a drink and was ready to live. Is this a robbery? This is hawk sauce. The nature is revealed. See it? White-skinned pigs. This is your special forces, and they don't even care about their own national flags. Haha. Chinese people don't be yin and yang. This is Jumanji's game. There is no order here. How about, are Chinese people envious or not? In the live broadcast room, the argument was chattering. Jiang Kui also started his own survival journey. Combine your own situation. Chapter 4. It worked. Mysterious power from the ancient east. Obviously. Almost no one in the audience believed it. Jiang Kui can start a fire with just this small wooden stick. This world is different from the previous life. Due to the existence of historical faults, many primitive technologies have become people's knowledge blind spots. Even professional history professors know very little about it. The original survival of the Australian little brother who was in the fire in his previous life is definitely in existence. That subverts people's cognition. At this moment, in China's live broadcast room, hostess Lin Zio and 3 experts also looked confused. Friends, in the audience, we can see now that Jiang Kui seems to want to start a fire. Academician Zhu, what do you think about this? Zhu, Zinning, with white temples, is an academician of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics. Have international influence. Yes, but I think this is unlikely. There are 3 conditions for the production of flames: combustibles and oxidants. Now it is not a problem, but if you want to produce fire, you need the combustibles to reach the ignition point. At present, this condition is not available immediately. After historian Zhao Ping also echoed, yes, unless you use external forces, such as lightning, sunlight, etc. In fact, to put it bluntly, Jiang Kui's situation now is almost equivalent to an unarmed primitive. A few years ago, I mentioned in a paper a conjecture about primitive man getting fire, which I call the lightning conjecture, which roughly means that primitive man discovered through observation that trees can catch fire when lightning hits them. Thus, I'll learn to keep fire and use bonfires. This should be the only way for primitive humans to obtain fire. It is a bit difficult to understand that just relying on a wooden stick to make fire. While the hostess and the experts were discussing, Jiang Kui was still turning the stick at a high speed. Over time. Drill holes in the drill board. It's starting to get dark. Burnt smell of wood chips spread out on the leaves below. Enough embers have already accumulated, constantly steaming. Seeing this, Jiang Kui did not dare to neglect and continued to rub the stick. Nothing to relax, because at this time, it is the key to the success of drilling wood to make fire. Must pay full attention. Continue to increase friction. At the same time, try to control the floating range of your upper body as much as possible to avoid dripping sweat from soaking the embers. Soon. Another minute or so passed. The embers on the leaves are already half a finger high. It should be almost there. With that in mind, Jiang Kui hurriedly put down the drill pipe and picked up the firelighter prepared in advance. Then, the blade was carefully pulled from under the drill plate, and the embers were poured into the kindling, which was gently wrapped. Call. Chapter 5. Get on the hot search. Questions from foreign friends. Can this GM survive? Now point in the global live room. 3 experts in the studio point. They were also amazed by Jiang Kui's operation. When I saw the flames emerge from Jiang Kui's hands, Williams, a tenured full professor at the Harvard School of History, was immediately stunned. It's been a long time point. I was surprised and said, it's kind of interesting. This Chinese is so surprising. He actually thought of using the principle of frictional heat to light a bonfire, as expected of a nation with 5,000 years of civilization. It's really smart. Friends, don't underestimate this move. It is likely to subvert our established cognition of the history of human evolution. Maybe, tens of thousands of years ago, our ancestors also used this method when they were unarmed. Come for the fire, Philip. Ron, a professor of physics at Columbia University and a leader in modern physics, could not help but agree at this time. William is right. This young man is really very spiritual. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. He is very likely to have highly restored the way primitive people obtained fire without external force. It seems that the lightning fire conjecture that we have always believed in is not rigorous. Friction generates heat, which is amazing. Of the 5 challenges, Jiang Kui's start is the worst point, but it is precisely this disadvantage point let countless people witness the wisdom of this young Chinese. Even the so-called expert professors were amazed. Of course point it is not that they do not know the principle of frictional heat generation point, but being able to apply simple principles flexibly is not something everyone can do. Soon, Jiang Kui's drilling wood to make fire has aroused countless discussions and immediately rushed to the mega hot search list. The strongest nation starts broadcasting. China challenger Jiang Kui rescued himself from a desperate situation. Drilling wood to make fire shocked everyone. Experts said, this is a genius. Below the hot search, the comments of netizens are overwhelming. Excitement point more than words. Kui is bullshitting. Broken sound. Exclamation mark. Kui. Lord Kui. The 3 foreign professors in the global live broadcast room were shocked. 2TM long face. As expected of a top student in the history department. Knowledge is power. This guy's really too smart. I feel that his IQ is not low. Using simple physics knowledge, the fire is ignited. The pride of Chinese people. Blow up my Kui. Although a bad start point, but Jiang Kui's excellent performance made the whole China excited, because this time point they see hope, with this intelligence and action. What if it starts in hell? But point in addition to the support of compatriots, there are still many foreign friends in the global live broadcast who scoffed at Jiang Kui's operation point. Although this wave of operations is amazing, if you want to survive here, only fire is not enough. Water source, food, you don't even have a place to live now, so there's nothing wrong with fire. Poor Chinese people, recognize the reality. Yes, don't be complacent. In this barren land, there is only fire, and it will not last long. Guarding a fire, not eating or drinking? I don't know what these yellow-skinned pigs are excited about. Our Lowell has collected enough food. Even if he doesn't get out of the door or the second door, he can last for 2 or 3 months. Let's look at your Jiang Kui. What does he have? Yeah. What is the use of only fire? The idea of foreign audience is a simple point, also very realistic point. No matter how smart this Jiang Kui is, he knows how to draw inferences from other facts. No food, no water, no weapons, he can't last long. The deserted island, where Jiang Kui is located in the depths of the Pacific Ocean near Point Nemo. It is the most remote place on the surface of the earth from land. 2,688 kilometers away from the nearest landmass. Isolated from land, ship routes and ocean currents, there are few traces of human activities and other creatures in the waters. Where it is located, the desert island is full of dense forests, has a perfect ecosystem. The ghost knows if there will be large beasts in it. In this case, even if Jiang Kui lights a fire and has no weapons, guns, and ammunition, sooner or later it will be a meal for the beasts. 5:55 in the afternoon. Chapter 6. The original sloping house. He built himself a house. Exclamation mark. Soon night falls by the campfire amid the discussions and scoldings of global audiences. Jiang Kui has already started to build his own shelter, because there is basic primitive survival knowledge. To arm the mind point, it is not difficult for Jiang Kui to build a simple triangular slope house point. The so-called slope house is a kind of wild shelter that primitive people love most. Point simple, point convenient, point easy. To make point a triangular sloping house, as the name suggests, is a tent-like shelter formed by building a triangular sloping roof with 3 branches. Very shabby point, but the practicality is not much worse than the double gabled house point. Great for emergencies, definitely the most cost-effective choice for Jiang Kui right now. Point. After making up your mind, Jiang Kui started the operation immediately. Point. Under the watchful eyes of millions of viewers, he first selected 3 shrub branches that were basically the same length and thickness, put them side by side. Point. Then point from another branch, a small piece of bark was torn off to serve as a rope. Point. Tie the tops of the 3 branches together. Point. Then point. He stood up. Point. Spread 3 branches and stand on the beach. Point. At this point, the general framework of the shelter is basically completed. Master Kui is really smart. Know how to use bark as a rope. This is what I didn't expect. Then the question is, what is the point of him doing this? Is it a barbecue grill? Goddamn barbecue grill. Brother, can your brain not be so big? Triangular primitive shelter, nothing unusual on Earth. Point. As long as you have watched some primitive survival videos, ordinary people know a little bit. Point. But in a parallel world, where primitive culture is extremely scarce. Point. Due to the lack of history, the understanding of human beings about their ancestors' clothing, food, shelter, and transportation is almost a blank. So at this moment, many people don't know what Jiang Kui is doing. Point. Thought he was working on a barbecue grill. Build the frame. Jiang Kui picked up a large stack of emerald green palm leaves. Chapter 7. The score list is released. Charcoal toothpaste. When the show just started. Point. Because of Jiang Kui's hell start. Point. Many Chinese are worried. Point. For fear that this young man will be abused to the core. Point. But now it seems this young man not only did not disappoint them, but brought them a lot of surprises. Drill wood for fire. Point. Build a shack. Point. Everything is in order and in order. Even the 3 experts in the global live broadcast room were shocked by Jiang Kui's divine operation. Let the whole world see the imagination and creativity of a young Chinese, deep in the ocean. Jiang Kui didn't know, in his distant hometown China. Point. My name is constantly appearing on major news headlines and new media platforms. Tengson News. On the first day of the broadcast of The Strongest Nation, the Chinese guys performed amazingly. Fox said entertainment. This young man is too strong. Drill wood to make fire and build shacks. For details, please click the link below to watch tomorrow's headlines. I can't imagine it. This is definitely a divine operation that subverts human cognition. At the same time. Point. After building the shack, Jiang Kui spread the remaining palm leaves on the ground of the shelter. Lie down to get ready to rest. Point. Because of the time difference. Point. Also, in order to better observe the players, the Strongest Nation is a 24-hour live broadcast. Point. Right now, the live broadcast has been going on for a full 5 hours. The first comprehensive score of the international jury has also been released. The international jury is composed of nearly 100 experts from different countries. The members of the expert group cover a wide range of talents in various fields: psychologists, historians, behaviorists, professional soldiers and more. Point. Once in a while. Point. The international jury will conduct a comprehensive evaluation and score on the performance of the challengers of the 5 nationalities soon. The official Twitter of the Strongest Nation announced the standings ranking. Originally everyone thought that Jiang Kui would be at the bottom of the line without a doubt. Point. But the result is beyond the expectations of many people. Jiang Kui, who started the hell, defeated Park Youngjin of Korea, Kurasuke Kida of Dangyang-go, and Andre of White Bear Country in one fell swoop, and came in second place with a huge advantage of 90.5 points, only 3 points away from Lowell, who ranked first. To no. Point. The beginning of these two can definitely be regarded as one in the sky and one in the ground. Point. But with his own divine operation, Jiang Kui narrowed the gap to a minimum. As for Dangyang, Beijing, and Korea, they were all left behind by Jiang Kui. As soon as the standings were released, countless Chinese people were very excited, and major news media hyped it up, and this result also made many Dangyang, and Gaoli people extremely dissatisfied. Darnging audience, bagger. Why is our Aikida behind China? Darnging audience, Aikida Kun hid in a house, has guns and ammunition, and ate something. In terms of equipment, he is not worse than Jiang Kui. Why? Korean audience, Axie, our Park Youngjin is actually the last one. Korean audience, my god. The jury is all Chinese, right? Korea, your players are also in the wild. The starting equipment is better than Jiang Kui. He has a water bottle and a gun. But now, he is either sleepwalking or crying. Is there a problem with his bottom? I watched the live broadcast of that darn Yingren. It was too trivial. It's like a devil entering the village. Haha, I just want to laugh when I see the two dog-legged nations getting angry. Darnging audience, don't be proud of Chinese people. The live broadcast has just started. After our players get used to it, they will definitely be better than you. Don't forget, your players haven't eaten food yet. Korean audience, yes. What can he do with a fire and a house? He can't go on without food. Just wait and see. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8. I don't know what to do. What kind of divine operation is this? F***K. This wave of Lord Kui is really too detailed. It turns out that we are ignorant, and our posture has risen. We are on the 5th floor this time, and Lord Kui is in the atmosphere, brushing your teeth with charcoal. This is the first time I heard it. It's awesome. Hearing what Monica said, the barrage in the live broadcast room burst out. Everyone suddenly realized, charcoal brushing. Jiang Kui can really have you. The billions of spectators present never dreamed that this guy was actually brushing his teeth after eating the charcoal. The most important thing is that this wave of operations has actually been affirmed by experts. Because if it's like what Monica said, this matter is indeed serious after all. Tooth loss is no small matter once it happens. It is irreversible at that time. Even if you find more food, it will be useless. I have to say, this young man is really too detailed. Really comprehensive consideration. Compared with the audience, Jiang Kui naturally knows this clearly. To survive here in the long run. All aspects have to be considered. Otherwise, there will be waves of trouble, causing a chain reaction. Soon. Brush your teeth. Jiang Kui took a coconut. Smash it on a rock. I drank some coconut milk and rinsed my mouth. Cleaned up the charcoal left in the mouth. Immediately after he immediately woke up the system and checked it. Unsurprisingly, after a night of accumulation. At this point he already has 1000 survival points. As the system says, as long as you stay in the wild for longer, your survival points will increase exponentially. If it goes on like this, it is estimated that it will take tens of thousands of survival points in just a few days. Don't be too cool. After a brief rest, Jiang Kui started to act according to his plan. At the moment. 3 element of survival. He's almost done with it. Although I haven't found fresh water to drink. But there are coconuts after all. Holding on for a while is not a problem. So the water is not in a hurry. The most important thing now is to find food. Because he has not eaten all day and night. On a desert island, the most convenient and fast place to get food is the sea. None of them. So thought about it. Jiang Kui ordered the system to open the exchange list. Because there are not many survival points in the end, he only exchanged 1 Inuit quad spear making technology and 1 original stone knife making technology. The Inuit style quad spear is a very practical and easy to make hunting tool. All you need is retin and sticks. Very easy to get started. The success rate is very high. Even people without hunting experience can master the usage in a very short time. However, before making the spear, Jiang Kui needs to make a handy stone knife. No cutting tools, nothing will go smoothly. Thinking about it, Jiang Kui immediately searched on the rocks on the beach. Chapter 9. 4-pointed spear. I bet he can't make it. Just find a stone and you can create a sharp knife. This guy's really smart. This is the most real feeling in the hearts of many viewers who have watched the live broadcast, but point in the eyes of foreign audiences. Although Jiang Kui made stone knives, the food problem has not been solved. Point. If things go on like this, it will be a matter of time before they will be eliminated. Point equal source audience. It's interesting. This guy actually made a knife out of a stone. However, don't forget, he is still hungry now. Darnging audience. Yes. What if you have tools? Can't eat again. Korean audience. Haha. Chinese people, stop struggling. I advise you to surrender now. You can't beat us. Go home and take a nap. The people from the two dog-legged countries are really ignorant. This is called a worker who wants to do good things must first sharpen his tools. The brothers upstairs, because of their IQ, they can't understand this sentence. Pay attention to the impact. I'm heartbroken. All done. We have been professionally trained, and under normal circumstances will not laugh, unless we can't help it. Soon. Point with the cutting tools in hand, Jiang Kui kept doing it. Point immediately, I searched for materials for making spears in the bushes. The island where Jiang Kui is located. Point deep in the ocean. Point, because it has not been polluted by civilization, the vegetation coverage rate is very high. Point, as long as you look for it carefully, the corresponding materials are very easy to get. Point unsurprisingly. Point soon, Jiang Kui found several very tall hibiscus trees. Hibiscus branches resilience is great. Point perfect for making harpoons. Thinking, he raised the knife and dropped it. Point it only took a dozen times to cut off 2 branches with just the right thickness. Brothers, Lord Kui seems to be making equipment again. Is this chopping wood? I gather this knife is a bit sharp. Watching Master Kui's live broadcast always gives me a feeling of playing a construction game. Not much nonsense. Come on Kui. Must persevere. Defeat those foreigners. Choose your material. Jiang Kui took one of the branches, cut into 4 pieces, then placed the sides of each segment again. Point cut into sharp spearheads with a stone knife. Point then point he took the vine and tied the 4 spearheads to another branch. Point as such. Point a simple 4-pronged spear appeared in front of the audience. The weight of the harpoon is appropriate. Point the spear is also sharp enough. Point but in fact, the Inuit style 4-pointed spear is more likely to hit the target than the ordinary spear, not because of how sharp it is, but because the 4 spears will expand due to elasticity when stabbed. The prey, firmly pinching the fish, makes the whole hunting process more flexible. Point also more accurate. If you change it to a normal single-headed spear, you must kill it with 1 hit. Point, but the 4-pointed spear does not have this problem. Point at this moment, looking at the spear in Jiang Kui's hand, the audience in the live broadcast room frowned. Point, after thinking about it for a long time, I can't figure out what this thing is used for. Chapter 10. This is unscientific. Lord Kui is now prosperous. Deep in the ocean, Jiang Kui didn't know what happened in the live broadcast room. Because of this moment. Point he is standing on the reef. Point watching the movement in the water intently. Point, but point even if you see fish swimming by, Jiang Kui was not in a hurry, but waiting for the time. Point one side adapts to the light refraction of the water surface. Point, while looking for the swimming pattern of the fish, because using a spear to strike a fish, if you see the target and go straight, it is absolutely impossible to hit. Point the correct way is to find the pattern and drop the spear behind the fish when you shoot. The reason is simple. Point this is because the direction of propagation of light changes when it is slanted from one medium to another, so that the light is deflected at the junction of different media. There is a deviation between the actual position of the fish and the position seen by the eyes. Soon. Point after getting used to the light on the water and the cruising route of the fish, Jiang Kui set his eyes on an unusually beautiful dancing bun with white spots all over his body. Point then point everything's ready. Point he counted 3 times in his mind. 3, 2, 1. Right now, the voice in my heart just fell. Point. After locating the position, Jiang Kui flicked his wrist and inserted the spear to the back of the fish. Snapped. The spear broke through the water, stir up the waves. Then. Point it lasted no more than a second before and after. Jiang Kui pulled the spear out of the water again. Next second. Point when the audience watched again, a sea fish the size of 2 palms had been firmly caught by 4 spearheads. Fang K point. The landing point of the spear is at the tail of the fish point, but because of the deviation of the line of sight, the spearhead just clamped the body of the fish. Oh. Who? Seeing the prey, Jiang Kui couldn't help shouting excitedly. Point as expected of a 4-pronged spear. Really simple and rude. Point get started and get paid. The 4-pronged spear doesn't kill the fish directly. Point, so the difficulty is reduced a lot. Point when starting, as long as the 4 spearheads can clamp the fish body, the success rate will be greatly improved. Back then, the ancestors of the Inuit used this method to conquer the extremely cold waters of the earth, and became the most fishable nation in history. Now point in the live room. Point seeing this scene, everyone was stunned for a while, but soon the barrage burst like a flood that bursted E asterisk asterisk E, F asterisk asterisk K, exclamation mark. Breakout. I really caught a fish, too fast. How did he do that? F asterisk asterisk K. It's F asterisk 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 ED up. I'm going. The lure pole in my hand will not be fragrant in an instant. Brothers, this is amazing. At the same time point all the foreigners present in the global live broadcast room were also shocked by Jiang Kui's actions. My god, what just happened? He seems to have succeeded. Chapter 11. Polynesian grilled fish, Kui's dark dish. Pure wild eastern star spot. Point. If placed in a high-end restaurant. Point its value is absolutely second to none. A few thousand is normal, because the living environment of the wild eastern star spot is very harsh. Point there are extremely high requirements for temperature and marine environment. The number itself is too small. Point in addition, fishing is difficult. Point in recent years, the price of wild eastern star spots has risen even more. Point the rarity is second only to the bluefin tuna. Point this delicacy can only be enjoyed at top restaurants. Look at this valuable sea fish. Point the audience in the live broadcast room showed envious expressions. In fact, think about it carefully. If human beings really become extinct. Point like Jiang Kui. Point finding a secluded island and spending a lifetime leisurely is a beautiful thing. Enjoy nature. Point enjoy the food. Point because these things are almost never owned by a civilized society compared with the challenges from other countries. Jiang Kui's factory configuration is indeed miserable. Point, but when they saw this eastern star spot, people felt that those challenges living in lonely towns might be the real hell. Start. Beachside. Jiang Kui's camp. Point against a huge rock. Point there is a coconut tree at the top. Point the entrance scenery is very beautiful. Point let people linger, listen to the slow waves, enjoy the blowing tropical monsoon. Point sitting in front of the sloping house, Jiang Kui added some firewood to the bonfire. Point then he turned and picked up the stone knife again. Point a small sand pit was dug underfoot. Point pull the red hot charcoal from the fire into the sand pit. Master Kui, are you grilling fish? Wow, brother Kui, it's nighttime in China. Is it really okay for you to put poison like this? Exclamation mark. Yao Shao. Inexplicably, saliva flowed out. Fortunately, I bought spicy strips cack in advance. To be fair, I could smell the aroma before it was baked. East Star Spot's cooking. Point it doesn't need to be complicated. Point, no matter how you eat it, it will be delicious soon. The bunker was filled with charcoal. Jiang Kui took out the palm leaves left over from building the roof. Point pick up Dangsingban and put it on it. Point then, he opened another coconut. Point give the fish a full body massage with coconut milk. Point and then never stop doing it. Point the fish is wrapped tightly in palm leaves randomly thrown into the bunker. Finally, the bunker was filled with sand again. Point seeing this scene, the audience was very puzzled and launched a barrage. What is this doing? Isn't it grilled fish? Chapter 12. The taste from tens of thousands of years ago. The shock of the food world. Soon, about 10 minutes past. Point the scent is getting stronger. Even if it is covered with fine sand, it cannot completely cover the unique deliciousness of Dangsingban. See? Jiang Kui calculated the time and felt that it was almost there. Point he hurriedly opened the sand and probed to check. Point at this time. Point charcoal burning in a sand pit. Point most of it has gone out. Point the palms that were once emerald green have also become pitch black. Point through a hidden lens this scene came into view. Point the audience in the live broadcast room questioned, is this still edible? Boiled? It's just that the leaves are scorched. I don't know what's inside. For Jiang Kui's sandpit grilled fish, many people think it is not satisfactory point, but in the next second point when Jiang Kui slowly pushed aside the burnt palm leaves and presented the tender and juicy fish in front of them, everyone was slightly taken aback. On the firm skin point the browning is perfect point compared to the usual charcoal grilled fish point. The fish flesh that slowly blooms under the skin of the fish is completely different. Don't do it point. The water overflows extremely white, enduring the double torture of hunger and the tangy aroma. Jiang Kui couldn't bear it any longer. He stretched out his hand and grabbed a large piece of fish and put it into his mouth eagerly. It melts at the entrance point, tender and juicy point, simply delicious. Wow. It looks pretty good. F***K. Baked like this, the fish looks pretty good. The posture is up. It should be delicious cack. Although the outside is scorched, the inside is unique, sharp. Grilled fish in sandpit? Not bad. At the beginning point see Jiang Kui tossing such an expensive dancing bin into the bunker. Everyone thought this guy was going to do some dark cooking, but now it seems this idea is really biased as an audience point. Although they can't taste the taste, they can guess by looking at the appearance point. The taste must not be bad. It sounds amazing. Just wrap 2 leaves and put them in a sandpit filled with charcoal fire to grill such a tender and juicy fish. What a magical operation this is. See here. Point. Academician Zhu, who was sitting in the China studio, frowned and nodded. After a while, he commented, I don't know if everyone has found it, but this cooking method is really interesting. Hearing what Academician Zhu said, the hostess Lin Zio and the 2 experts beside him were a little confused. Point. Looking forward to the following. Academician Zhu. Actually, human culinary art is also a science. The changes in the cooking process are actually physical changes and chemical changes. For example, if the fried loofah is to be green, why must it be salted first? The 3 shook their heads and said they didn't understand. The reason is that the salt destroys the enzymes in the loofah, so the browning reaction doesn't occur when reheated. Point. Why is Jiang Kui's cooking method interesting? In fact, he just used sand pits and palm leaves to simulate the cooking of a steamer. How it works. Make cooking more primitive and purer. This is actually the taste from tens of thousands of years ago. Heard. Point. The crowd and the audience suddenly realized, that's right. Isn't that how steam cooks food? Charcoal is gas, a sand pit is a steamer, palm leaves are the steamer. I see. By steaming and grilling over charcoal fire, the food not only locks in moisture, but also retains the charcoal fired flavor. Magic. Chapter 13. This is a tasteful video. A time. Jiang Kui's Polynesian paella grilled fish. Point. Make a difference. It turned out to be the original food that everyone sought after. No way. Point. This kind of original cuisine is too novel for people in this world. Point. In fact, they are not ignorant of the principles of bunker cooking. Point. It's just that before Jiang Kui, no one tried this. Point. To this day. Point. After a busy time, Jiang Kui not only started a fire, had a place to live, made simple tools, but also used the sky-defying spearfishing technique and fairy-like ancient cooking to find delicious food from nature. Various god operations just don't be too showy. Let those foreign trolls completely lose their confidence. Point. Kui is so good. Where is survival? Just go on vacation. I think this game, our Lord Kui will definitely be able to persevere to the end. I will also try it in my backyard tomorrow. Grilled fish in the sandpit and see how it tastes. Sand seems to be very particular. I heard a food blogger say that you must use the sand from the beach. What about those ignorant foreigners? Why is there no sound? Keep calling. Yes, continue to mock. Haha. It's so cool to see you guys looking so sullen. East wins the dog. Your god of sushi. Everyone cried when they saw RKUIE's food. Why are you so arrogant? In the global live room. Point. Red flag. It. Point. Pop up frequently. Point. A bright red. Point. Spectacular. Only a few out of the stars and stripes and the Sakura flag are still sticking to the line. Eagle source audience. This is nothing to be arrogant. He is just lucky. Darnging audience. Yeah, it's still a long time. Let's wait and see. Korean audience. Hey, what are you excited about? Didn't you just find food and make a grilled fish? What's so great about eating something so commonplace? Ashley. White bear audience. Young Hera. Our King Hera less. I want to marry this little brother from China and let him protect me for the rest of my life. These few days, I didn't even watch Andre's live broadcast. I watched him the whole time. It was so funny. Compared with Eagle Source and other countries, Andre, the white bear player, is quite satisfactory. The survival scene he was in his own Siberian manner. Wake up. Wife, children, and farm workers all disappeared. But a fighting nation is a fighting nation after all. The end of the world doesn't really matter to me at all. Not hunting all day. It's Watga. This also resulted in very poor performance of the program. Because this guy is sleeping 80% of the time. Even the audience of White Bear Country's own country ignored him. Almost all came to Jiang Kui's live broadcast room. And most of them are female fans, because of ingenious Chinese men like Jiang Kui. Definitely a hit at White Bear. He is handsome and can cook. Living on an island around a bonfire. Think romantic. Desert island. 12 noon Pacific time. The sky is high and cloudy. The sea is blue. The sun is rising. After devouring a whole grilled fish, Jiang Kui ate half a coconut again. After eating and drinking, he stretched and took a nap. It wasn't until after 2 o'clock in the afternoon that he got out of the shelter. Chapter 14. A wise move full of details. Found fresh water. At the same time. Worldwide live broadcast studio. See this scene. Asian hostess Gu Wanking and 2 foreign experts also frowned. Among the 3. Only the professor of medicine, Monica, with a solemn expression, kept nodding her head. Seeing this, Gu Wanking asked, Professor Monica, do you have any opinion on Jiang Kui's move? Hearing this, Monica said thoughtfully, he seems to be using urine to cool his body. What? Cool yourself with urine? F***K. This is awesome. What's the meaning? Exclamation mark. That's right, that's how it should be. Then, Monica continued, it's the rainy season right now. On the tropical island, where Jiang Kui is located, the maximum temperature during the day can reach over 40 degrees, which is very hot. If you don't take some measures to cool down, it's easy to get heat stroke. The main components of urine include water, glucose, protein, inorganic salts and relatively small particulate matter, of which water accounts for the majority, between about 96% and 97%. Wet a kerchief with urine and wrap it around your head for maximum cooling. Although it may seem a little disgusting, I have to say that this is definitely a wise move. This young man is amazing. He actually thought of this. To be honest, I'm more and more looking forward to his next performance. After listening to Monica's explanation, China's audience suddenly realized that her analysis was very reasonable. I see. Amazing, my Lord Kui. Inexplicably sad. I feel that Leo Kui is too difficult. In order to survive, he can't even put his own urine out. This person is really scary. I bet he is the first. It's really useful. Then the question is, why not use seawater? Isn't seawater cooler? As soon as this problem came out, many people are following the trend of the barrage. Monica went on to explain, seawater is not good. The salt content is too high. In such a hot environment, it is easy to damage the skin after drying. Using urine to cool down is his only way. Hearing this, the audience in the live broadcast room were all convinced by Jiang Kui's actions. It's too thin. This man is simply the strongest brain for walking. Use urine to cool yourself. Such a crazy move. Ordinary people may want to break the scalp and can't think of it, but now, I think his most important task is to find edible fresh water as soon as possible. He has been using urine to cool down, and drinking coconut water is not the way. At the current temperature, he needs at least 1,500 milliliters of fresh water a day to survive. Look at his lips. It's too dry, and his body has already sent a signal of lack of water. If you don't find fresh water as soon as possible, the situation will not be optimistic. Monica is a top specialist at Mayo Clinic. He has treated many stars and national bosses. The level is very high. Since she said so. Many Chinese viewers also realize the seriousness of the problem. If there is no water, Jiang Kui won't last long. Chinese people, did you hear that? Our great Dr. Monica said, if you can't find fresh water, your challenger will be game over. Poor Chinese. If you have just eaten your stomach, you are in danger of dying of thirst. Haha. Idiot. Chinese people, why don't you shout? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15, Chinese people, count you ruthless, promote, weaving technique. It is not difficult to understand the reaction of audiences in various countries right now, although Jiang Kui found traces of fresh water, but the number is really poor, and most of them have penetrated into the stone crevices. In this case, isn't it futile to focus on this? Therefore, even if Jiang Kui couldn't hear it, but there are still many Chinese audiences who are persuading Jiang Kui to give up quickly. Don't put your hope here. Catching real fresh water is the most important thing. You can see Jiang Kui's expression. Not only did he not want to give up, but he showed a very excited look. It's like finding a baby. In fact, the reason is very simple. The pitiful traces of water are not useless. As long as you think of a way to collect these waters together, it can add up to a lot. Thinking, Jiang Kui said nothing. Pick up the firewood and go back to camp. Then I picked the largest coconut shell and returned to the rock. Find a good location. Jiang Kui undid the scarf, cut a small piece with a stone knife, and stuck it in the water-filled crevice of the rock. Immediately after, he put down the hanging cloth again. Carefully place in the coconut shell. Seeing this, the audience suddenly realized it. F***K. Brother Kui is collecting fresh water. Breakout. This is to let the water flow down the cloth into the coconut shell. Incredible. Didn't keep up with Lord Kui's brain circuit. F***CK. Lord Kui is really smart. Said weakly, this strip of cloth was not. There's no way around that. In order to have water to drink. What is this? Eagle source audience. Chinese people, count you ruthless. I'm going to vomit. Danging audience. Crazy guy. Really do anything to survive. Korean audience, you are too fierce, aren't you, uncle? Now even the Yingjiang and Dangyeong audiences, who have been squirting wildly, were convinced by Jiang Kui's actions, have to say this F***CK is absolutely ruthless. Water absorption properties of cotton. Excellent performance. It only took less than 5 minutes. The whole cotton rope was soaked with water vapor, drop by drop into the coconut shell. It's not slow. Estimated for one night. Enough fresh water is collected. The water vapor remaining in the rock crevices is most likely the accumulated rainwater. Because it's in the shade, it doesn't evaporate. It happened to help Jiang Kui solve the problem of fresh water, and now what he has to do. Just wait. After returning to camp, while adding firewood to the bonfire, Jiang Kui turned on the system to check the current survival point. After a day and a night of accumulation. At this point, the survival point has reached more than 20,000, and it's still growing. Almost every minute, there will be hundreds of points to the account. Have to say this kind of system that hangs up and becomes stronger is simply too cool. No tasks need to be done. No raw is goofy tricks. As long as you hang up, you can improve yourself. Very defiant, busy day. Jiang Kui basically solved the 3 element of survival. With a bonfire. There is a way to get food. Made a stone knife. Another piece of fresh water was collected, and the next goal is to take it one step at a time. Steady improvement. Thinking about it, Jiang Kui first used 2000 survival points to exchange for a weaving technique, knitting technique. You can knit a lot of things, such as straw sandals, such as fish baskets, and ropes. Chapter 16. Experts' guesses. What is this bamboo basket for? Exclamation mark. Lord Kui, this is the rhythm of fire. Soon. The main body of the fish basket. Compilation is complete. Next. Just use the cut hibiscus branches and tighten the outlet point, because the branches have a certain elasticity. The fish and shrimp that swim into it can be controlled to the greatest extent in the cage. Primitive fish baskets like this are the most important means of survival for the primitive tribes who have lived along the river for a long time. Although there is a lot of uncertainty about fishing with a fish basket point. But here point there's nothing like a fish basket for Jiang Kui to sit back and enjoy. Been busy point another half an hour past point the final closing process is completed point picking up the fish basket. Jiang Kui checked it roughly point no problems were found point very solid point. As long as it is fixed well, even if it encounters a big wave, it can fully cope with it point immediately after the fish basket is prepared. Jiang Kui took a random branch, tore off the bark, and twisted it into a rope point tie up a reef of the right size and drop it into the fish basket point then he went straight to the sea point found a shoal point place the fish basket carefully in between point. Because the weight is enough point after a while, the fish basket sank to the bottom point in order to prevent external forces such as tides from affecting the position. In the end, Jiang Kui tied the extended rope firmly to a reef point. I didn't return to the camp until it was confirmed that everything was fine point now point in the live room point the audience watched in a fog point I don't understand what Jiang Kui is doing at all point strangeness. Why did Lord Kui put this bamboo basket into the sea? Can't read. Strongly weave a bamboo basket. Don't you use it to hold things? Instead, he took a stone to hold it down and sank into the sea. Which Big Brother gave the popular science? What is Master Kui doing? This world point technology and modernization have become very popular even in particularly backward places. No one uses this primitive crate for fishing anymore point therefore. People don't understand Jiang Kui's operation at all point most people thought it was just a container like a bamboo basket point even the experts in the studio point guess and guess still haven't gotten an answer point. But point to be sure, based on Jiang Kui's past behavior the reason why this guy did this must be planning something. Professor Zhaoping, I personally think that he must want to use this bamboo basket to hold something. Professor Zhu Zening, but the question is, if it is used to hold things, why should it be pressed with stones and let it sink into the sea? I think the crux of the problem is that it is not on this bamboo basket, but in the sea. Williams, this thing is a bit interesting, using the weight of the stone to sink the bamboo basket into the sea. It seems that he is trying to salvage something. Philip Ron, okay. Actually, forget it. I don't want to talk anymore. I don't want to donate the only house I have. Back to camp point the sky was getting dark point challenger of 5 nations another lonely day point when the show just started. Raoul of Eagle Source Country was the most popular among the 5 people point peak time point more than 2 billion people stopped in the live broadcast room, but only one day past point the peak is gone point in its place is Jiang Kui's live broadcast room. Until now, Jiang Kui's live broadcast room has attracted nearly 2/3 of the world's audience, and the number of viewers has reached a terrifying 5.8 billion, except for the Chinese audience. Chapter 17. Fright in the middle of the night, the jungle changes. SHHHHH. Sudden point the noise appears again, even more obvious than last time. At the same time point some sharp-eyed viewers in the live broadcast room also noticed this thrilling scene. F***K. Something seems to be moving in the bushes. I heard it too. Exclamation mark. Kui, be careful. What's the situation? I didn't see it. Could it be that you heard it wrong? In the middle of the night, can you scare me? Where is there something? Uninhabited island point the night is like ink. Trees as deep as the bottom of the valley point a sudden noise. All kinds of things here. All in one place point. Just for a moment point it made the audience in the live broadcast room nervous. All of a sudden, Jiang Kui's heart also mentioned his throat point his face was solemn point. But he still slowly poked his head out point look in the direction of the change. Plants and trees stand point deeply quiet point watched for a while. Jiang Kui didn't even observe why he came point now point the entire bush returned to its former calm point the rustling of leaves was only heard when the breeze was blowing. Did you hear it wrong? Jiang Kui couldn't help asking himself in his heart point, but soon point he rejected the idea in his mind point wrong. The sound just now was definitely not the sound of wind. Next second, SHHHHH. While thinking point the change came again. This time, not only Jiang Kui, but even the billions of viewers in the live broadcast room had heard it all. F***CK. F***K. There is something on the cliff. I take my room at Sun Mingyang's dog's life as a guarantee. There must be living things in there. Exclamation mark. I see. The leaves are moving. Will there be ghosts? Brothers, I'm so scared. At the same time, looking out at the trees, Jiang Kui was also shocked. Tell him intuitively point this guy in the jungle must be a bad guy. And from the rhythm of the leaves, Jiang Kui was even sure point it must be a giant hidden inside. Large beast. A terrible thought point suddenly flashed in Jiang Kui's mind. If it's a big beast point with his current combat power. Chapter 18. Jiang Kui is going to be eliminated. Exchange. Passive skill. Invisible threat. Now point eye to eye. The distance between Jiang Kui and the leopard point also 5 or 6 meters away point however. Face the prey point. This top predator in the jungle did not immediately rush up to bite point, instead stay where you are, watching Jiang Kui's every move. In fact, in the eyes of beasts, humans are also unknown existences. This is the hunting instinct of many large beasts. Only when the danger is completely ruled out will they make a tentative attack, but even so point anyone with eyes can see it point. Compared with the ferocious leopard, the defenseless Jiang Kui is obviously the disadvantage. No weapons, no equipment point. The only flint knives were in vain. Really wrestling together with Jiang Kui's fighting power, it is impossible to injure the ferocious leopard. At this time, in the live broadcast room point wave after wave of barrage point densely packed point it never stopped. Master Kui met a leopard. F***K! Exclamation mark. Hurry up to inform the program team and organize to save people. Master Kui has a stone knife in his hand. The combat power is too poor. Now is not a question of combat power, but to quickly find a way to save people. Yes, hurry up and save people. Eagle Source audience, oh my god. Your Jiang Kui is miserable. He doesn't even have a gun, and he is estimated to be eliminated. Darnging audience, Nani? Why? I just fell in love with this little brother. Is the live broadcast coming to an end? Korean audience, I have to say, Jiang Kui's performance is really amazing, but there is no way. He still has to be eliminated. His start is too bad, and his equipment is almost equal to zero. Goodbye, Chinese. At the same time point Yandu, Zhanghe point some mysterious department point a government meeting room point. After learning about Jiang Kui's situation, Zhang Jun, the head of the China delegation, immediately picked up the satellite communicator. He looked solemn and wore a military uniform point. Carry a spike and 2 stars on your shoulders. After the call was connected, he immediately notified the crisis management team on standby in the South Pacific. 0836, listen to my order. No matter what, we must bring Jiang Kui back alive. Only success is allowed, and failure is not allowed. This is the meaning of the above. Understand? Immediately. After hanging up, Zhang Jun got in touch with the program organizing committee far away in Dubai point. Get them to the security group in Fiji point. Cooperate. Dubai, the top of the Burj Khalifa point. A group of big men in suits are sitting in the huge transparent conference room point around the poker table point. Play Texas Hold'em point. Behind them point a huge electronic floating screen point. In between, looks like this capable young Chinese man is in trouble. Thomas from the Rothschild group took a cigar and said slowly with a smile on his face. Chapter 19. Persuade the leopard to quit. The whole network is boiling. Leopard, then I go. Next second, a warm current point swipe all over. It feels very subtle. Under the blessing of invisible threat, Jiang Kui's eyes were fierce, and he was still staring at the leopard on the opposite side. This moment point powerful aura point instantly revealed. Leave him in this silent confrontation without any suspense point. Steady on the upper hand. The other side point facing Jiang Kui point. The fierce leopard, although still bearing its fangs, took a step back in the next second. See? Jiang Kui did not relax in the slightest point. Continue to use your powerful aura point. Be suppressed. Fierce gaze point. It seems to be a powerful existence that swears self-sovereignty, constantly warning the invading beasts this is my place. Seeing that a leopard was timid, Jiang Kui took advantage of the victory and took a step forward point. This step point it doesn't matter if you don't move point. As soon as he lifted his foot, the leopard was so frightened that he retreated again and again, now screaming aloud point. At the same time point the arrogant front paws are curled up in one place point. Upon closer inspection, The entire huge body seemed to be shaking slightly. Immediately after hesitating for a moment, the leopard didn't even look at Jiang Kui and ran into the jungle in despair. What's the situation? Seeing this scene, the audience in the live broadcast room fell silent for a moment. But only a second passed. The barrage that erupted was surging like a flood that burst a levee. F***K. Master Kui, did you persuade the leopard to quit? Break out. Really bullshit. What happened? Absolutely. Exclamation mark. What did this guy do to frighten the leopards to retreat? To tell you the truth, seeing Lord Kui's eyes just now, I was a little scared. It was too fierce. Leopard, then I'll go. It's just awesome class. Eagle source audience, what? My god. Exclamation mark. He actually scared off the leopard? I'm not wrong, right? Darnging audience, this man's aura is so powerful. Even the beasts dare not approach. Exclamation mark. I thought he was dead this time. Korean audience, F***K. This look makes me suffocate. This Chinese is too scary. This moment. The live broadcast burst on the spot. Countless barrages, one after another, scroll frequently. Billions of viewers excited. Everyone looked shocked. You know, this is a leopard, not a cat or a dog. How did he do it? Unarmed. Without any effort, the extremely vicious leopard fled into the woods in fright. Just now. Everyone can see clearly, the leopard definitely ran away. Because in the end, its body movements have been told to everyone. It fell behind in this confrontation. It's outrageous. At the same time. Yandu. China Sea. Chapter 20. This Chinese person can't be provoked. So this is a fishing tool? Unarmed. Scare off the leopard. This is definitely the most discussed topic since the show started. None of them. And after continuous fermentation and publicity. The popularity on the internet is still going on, regardless of the country. Still abroad. At the beginning. Many people think that this little known China challenger is just an ordinary college student. There is no background. An amateur. But this scene that happened now has almost subverted everyone's cognition. If before. When asked, when human beings encounter large beasts, who wins or loses, many people may give the answer without thinking. But today, Jiang Kui's magic operation completely rewrote the answer. Even some foreign trolls. He was shocked and closed his mouth. Eagle source audience, F***K. Why is this guy so strong? Actually scared off the beast. Oh my god. I think even a strong Raoul might be frightened in the face of this big guy, right? Exclamation mark. Dongwin audience, incredible. The plot in the hot-blooded comics, they're not right like this. Korean audience, this Chinese person can't be provoked. Really can't afford it. It's like a man at the top of the food chain. If it were me, I would most likely die on the spot. Idiot. I feel that our challenger does not seem to be the opponent of this Chinese at all. I've taken it. F***CK, a person who can even scare away such a large beast, his desire to survive. I'm ashamed of the Korean nation. Codes. This wave of Lord Kui scared me so much. Cattle. Really awesome. It's really bullnose. Haha. It's scary to foreign trolls. Foreign trolls, brothers, the next one. You can't afford this. Compared to the audience, Jiang Kui thought it was nothing. After all, the system is produced. Must be a boutique. Have to say. This skill is really powerful. Not even a leopard dares to approach. It's so outrageous compared to external responses. On the contrary, Jiang Kui felt that encountering a leopard was a great blessing. There are two reasons. First. Since there are large beasts on the island. It proves that the ecosystem is relatively intact. And was not damaged. Second. There must be a very complete food chain on this island. Both benefits for Jiang Kui. Significant. Since there is a complete food chain. Then in the next survival process, you don't have to worry about food diversity at all, because there will be a lot of food to choose from. Second. There must be clean water on the island. You know, without fresh water, the food chain cannot function at all. But there is one thing to note as well. The leopard is probably not at the top of the island's food chain. So, even with self-defense skills it doesn't mean it's going to be smooth sailing. While the rainy season in the South Pacific has not yet fully erupted. Be sure to craft a self-defense weapon as quickly as possible. As well as related hiking equipment. Explore the island and find a more suitable camp. Shocked. Jiang Kui added some wood to the bonfire. Put away the stone knife and drill back to the shelter. Get ready for a good night's rest. Put your migration plan into practice tomorrow. Since we came to this island as a human being, we must stand at the top of the food chain. Now that all human beings are extinct, then let me create a whole new civilization. At the same time. The other side of the ocean. To a Shengdan city. Inside the Discovery Channel headquarters building. Computer screen on the desk. The light flickers at this moment. Peter, the marketing director of Discovery Channel, was watching the scene where Jiang Kui scared off the leopard. Also in shock, as the main person in charge of out-of-the-box documentaries over the years. Peter has worked with many of the world's most famous explorers. Mountaineering. Diving. Everything you need. But so far. Chapter 21. Is this Aolong? Exclamation mark. Exchange for a stone axe. F***K. So this is a fishing tool? Incredible. Why didn't I expect to sink the bamboo basket into the water and wait for the prey to arrive? Exclamation mark. Second. Brother. I see. However, Master Kui is also very lucky, right? Just let it go overnight and caught so many fish? Breakout. I never guessed this. When learned that the basket is actually a fish basket. Large audience. Once again, I was amazed by Jiang Kui's divine operation. At the beginning. Everyone thought that this thing Jiang Kui made up should be a container for holding things, but the result was unexpected. It's a fishing tool. So many fish and shrimp were caught in just one night. China live room. See here. The three experts sitting in the studio could not help but shine. Before that, they also guessed for a long time. But I never understood what this bamboo basket was used for. It wasn't until I saw this scene with my own eyes that I realized it. At this time. Professor Zhaoping's expression was the most shocking. He pondered for a while. He commented, "This bamboo basket is very cleverly designed. I wonder if everyone found it. Its principle is somewhat similar to the ground cages that we commonly use today when fishing." Speaking of which, the director zoomed in on the frozen picture. Then, Zhaoping continued to explain, "Everyone, please take a close look at the mouth of the fish basket. This is actually a hole for your fish that can only be entered. The elasticity of the rattan will greatly limit the space for fish and shrimp to swim in, but cannot go out." He is really smart. In just a few days, human civilization has left traces on this desert island. As a historian specializing in the study of early human history. Zhaoping gradually realized that the survival techniques of Jiang Kui seemed to be very helpful for the study of the early history of primitive humans. At the same time. It also gave him infinite inspiration. Speak up. Everything Jiang Kui did seems to be what the primitive people did. After learning to walk upright tens of thousands of years ago, use a fish basket for fishing. So that it's easier to get a steady stream of food. Isn't this the wisdom of human existence? Desert island. The big harvest and the fish basket. It also made Jiang Kui smile with satisfaction. He probably looked at it. Not only are there marine fish, crabs, and even a large lobster cub here. When Jiang Kui frowned and showed joy when he took out the lobster boy, the live broadcast barrage became noisy again. F***K. Did you even catch a lobster? Is this Aolong? Master Kui is so lucky. Without strength, what if luck is good? Kui's bullpen. Sharp. I feel that Master Kui is better than me. It's Dang Xingban and a lobster again. Where are you surviving? You're clearly here to enjoy life. Eagle source audience. It turns out that this thing is used to catch fish. I just realized it. Darn audience. I like this challenge more and more. What should I do? I really don't want to give up. Kun. Korean audience. The fishing net seems to be invented by us Koreans. Yes, you are right. The earth was created by the Koreans. Haha. Back to camp. Jiang Kui will catch the sea goods and classify them. A total of 3 sea fish. A swimming crab. A lobster cub. There are also countless small fish and shrimp, scallops, and conch shells. Not surprisingly, these things are enough for him to eat for a few days. Conservative estimate. At least can provide nearly 600 grams of protein. Although the nutrients are very simple, these things are quite good for Jiang Kui at the moment. After all, survival has only just begun. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22. A move that rewrote history. Incredible god level operation. Everything's ready. When the audience doesn't know why, Jiang Kui has already picked up the flint. Polished on a relatively flat reef next to the camp. Due to the right choice of materials. The whole grinding process not effortless. With just a little trimming of the natural edge of the flint, it becomes exceptionally sharp. Then just a little tweaking of the shape. Soon, in less than half an hour, Jiang Kui sharpened the axe blade. Next, set it aside. Jiang Kui immediately showed the stone knife. Begin perfecting the stick for the handle of the axe. Hibiscus trees have excellent toughness, but very easy to cut. Even with just a stone knife, you can easily create the shape you want. Master Kui seems to be doing something. A full nose. The question is, what is he going to do? Really TMD cow, start with 2 hands. All equipment is made. I think with Lord Kui's method, if he is given a useful saber, he can even create a new civilization. What kind of monster is this guy? I feel like he's good at it. Watching Master Kui survive, it's really exciting. Self-sufficient throughout the whole process, and can create anything. Soon. Accompanied by falling sawdust. A handy axe handle. Finished. Jiang Kui took it in his hand and waved it twice. The arc is suitable. Fair enough. Axe blade and handle ready. What is to be done next? The entire production process, the most critical step, punching plus assembly, without the aid of modern tools. To assemble the blade and handle together only with the help of red hot charcoal fire. Burn a wooden hole in the handle of the axe. Then insert the axe blade into it. Throughout the firing process, be sure to control the location of the charcoal. There can be no deviations. Once burned in the wrong place, the stick will be scrapped immediately. Call after. Taking a long breath, Jiang Kui put the stick in front of him. Then folded 2 small branches. A small piece of red hot charcoal was clipped from the bonfire and placed on the wooden stick in its intended position. Because the temperature is high enough, the surface of the stick quickly turns black. Embers are produced. Seeing this, Jiang Kui grabbed the charcoal fire with wooden chopsticks. Then blow air gently to increase combustion efficiency. What's the situation? IQ is not up to standard. I don't understand what this is doing. Listen to what the experts say. Watching Master Kui's live broadcast, I feel so brain burning. Worry, when I watched Conan, I wasn't as ignorant as I'm now. Inside the studio. The 3 China experts are also confused. Can't give any constructive comments at all. A small piece of charcoal fire. An inconspicuous stick. Just based on this amount of information, even if the immortal is here, I can't guess what he is going to do. There was silence for a while. Chapter 23. The early production tools of human beings. Homemade bark cookware. A polished flint. A thick wooden stick. After some operations by Jiang Kui. Transform. Became a weapon for the pioneers of the Stone Age. In a world where primitive culture is extremely scarce, Jiang Kui's stone axe also split people's established cognition of primitive society in half at once. Not just zapping. Human history researchers in various countries showed astonishing expressions when they saw this scene. A stone axe. To these academic researchers unlimited reverie space. Immediately after. On major social media platforms a close-up picture of stone axe. It crushes all hot searches. Instant read. The following text. This is the earliest production tool of mankind. To this end. Tsuda Heiichi, a well-known anthropologist in Dongying country, specially tweeted, whether it is a stone knife or a stone axe, the actions of the China challengers are of great significance to the study of human history. At the same time, British Empire philosopher and historian Arnold Joseph He also posted his own views on his personal Twitter. Interesting Chinese man. I really admire his imagination. What he did. Let me figure out how the ancient ancestors created the Earth civilization. Exclamation mark. Well-known Italian scholar Fernand Braudel. Perhaps after this battle, humans' cognition of the Stone Age will be changed because of Jiang Kui. Jiang Kui never dreamed of the stone tools he built to survive in the apocalypse. It will be favored by countless scholars and experts. Immediately after set the assembled stone axe aside, Jiang Kui turned around and picked up a few hemp grasses, rub it into a strand. Then stick out your dirty feet. Hook with thumb and toe. Hold one end with both hands, the middle finger and index finger respectively. Pinch the top of the hemp grass while each is turning clockwise. Twist the two hemp grasses tightly together. So repeatedly. A hemp rope is quickly twisted. The hemp grass used by Jiang Kui is an herb such as jute. The texture is fibrous, the thickness is just right. Of course, if you use sisal, it will be stronger. However, conditions are now limited. Only make do. Soon. With Jiang Kui's efforts, a 1 meter long hemp rope was finally completed. The knots are tight. Exquisite. Tough yet flexible. Master Kui is twisting a rope. Hey, this is interesting. It turns out that the hemp ropes we usually use are twisted like this. F***K. Leo Kui is too good at this. Even the rope can be twisted out. It feels like there is nothing that Master Kui can't do. Cattle fork. The envy from the handicapped party. 666. It's getting more and more primitive. Eagle Source audience. I feel that this Chinese person is so versatile. Lol, you idiot. Stop fussing about it. Can you learn from others? Work hard. If you go down like this, you will be ruined. Darnging audience, I'm really speechless. Why does an insignificant thing always find a place to use in his hands? Korean audience, how do you say this in Chinese? Oh, by the way, cool do it yourself, well dressed? Twist the rope. Jiang Kui picked up the stone axe again. Stand in front of you. At the connection between the axe blade and the axe handle. Hemp rope was tied and fixed. As such. A decent stone axe. Finally done. Standing up, Jiang Kui held the stone axe and waved it twice out of thin air. It feels good. Very handy. Both the weight and the feel are in place. To test the sharpness of the axe blade, Jiang Kui came to the beach alone. I found a coconut tree of moderate thickness and chopped it down. A time. Sawdust splashes. Like falling snow. The hardness of flint. Chapter 24. Get equipment. Is this the youth edition of philology? Most people don't think about it. A piece of coconut bark found everywhere. Actually under Jiang Kui's wonderful men. Completed the counterattack and turned waste into treasure. Incarnate into a functional cooker with rich original style. If you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, no one believes that ordinary bark can be so useful. Now. In the global live room. The three experts were quite amazed after seeing Jiang Kui's every move. Looking at the live broadcast, Williams nodded. It turns out that it can be used as a primitive container with a little modification of the bark. I don't know if you have found it. This Chinese person really knows how to use all the resources around him skillfully. That's right. At the same time, he is also very smart. Every time he finds a problem, he can perfectly solve it with uncivilized means. The bark container is actually a very common primitive utensil. Simple and easy to use. Not only can be used to collect dress items, it can also act as a cooker if necessary. With this equipment. Coconut shells in the catchment can be completely retired. Thinking. Jiang Kui turned back again. All the way to the rock. Replace the coconut shell. Place the small pot under the filter cloth. The capacity of the bark pot. Visually, there are at least 500 or 600 milliliters calculated according to the flow rate of water. Even if left overnight. The accumulated water will not overflow. Thus you don't have to worry about waste anymore. Primitive survival is just that. Keep finding problems, constantly solve problems, then in the process of discovering and solving problems, step by step to become stronger. After returning to camp, Jiang Kui was not idle either. Go ahead and implement your plan. After a few days of in-depth observation, Jiang Kui draws a key conclusion point. This isolated island is a typical ocean type island. It is entirely caused by the crustal movement at the bottom of the ocean basin. Then it took thousands of years of evolution and development to become what it is today. The island is very large. There are mountains, water, and ecosystems jungle on the island. Most are also typical tropical rainforests. The vegetation is lush, there is fresh water, and there are large wild animals. The rocks on the shore have traces of being washed by the torrent. Therefore, the composition of sand is not simply sea sand. Not surprisingly, when the rainy season comes, flash floods are very likely to break out. Comprehensive geological, landform, ecological, and various risk factors. Jiang Kui knew very well. Before the rainy season breaks out, leave the seaside anyway and find a higher camp. Right now I don't have much equipment. Go on a long distance hike. It's not difficult. Just weave a basket and you can take it away in one pot. But before integrating the equipment, a pair of comfortable sandals and a piece of clothing that can keep out the wind and rain are absolutely essential. Thinking about it, Jiang Kui collected the remaining jute in one place. Sitting on the ground. According to the principle of 3 as a strand. Twist them into the necessary rope first. With rope, it is much simpler to synthesize rope. Soon. It didn't take long. Dozens of hemp ropes of equal thickness and toughness were successfully completed. Master Kui, who are you trying to kidnap? Upstairs. If you want to be able to speak, go out and publish a book. Sooner or later you will die of laughter in the barrage. This hand speed is really invincible. It blinded my titanium alloy dog eyes. I don't know if you feel it. I think Lord Kui seems to be brewing something big. Come, tell me, what did he do? Not a big deal. It was an ordinary operation. But it has led to countless speculations. At this time, all the audience are staring at the live broadcast screen, for fear of missing any shocking detail. No way. This is also a last resort. Blame it on this man's actions. It's so attractive. Chapter 25. Desert Island Limited Skin. Pony horse offers 100 million yuan. F***K. Grass skirts. Incredible, my brother. Clothes and shoes are all available. Master Kui is really strong. Starting from hell, he counterattacked with only one hand. Worshipping. Too talented. How did you come up with the idea of making a skirt out of leaves? Inexplicably beautiful. Master Kui, I won't watch this year's fashion week without you. I feel that Master Kui's civilization has progressed again. Hula wearing experience. Not so comfortable though. But it can protect the most important and vulnerable parts. Avoid direct sunlight. In a blink of an eye. After the grass skirt is added, as time goes by, the sun gradually slants west. In order to better migrate to the depths of the island. Before night, Jiang Kui built a barbecue with branches above the bonfire. Put the only to sea fish and lobster on top for smoked grilling. Ready to make dried fish with a longer shelf life. Convenient for replenishment on the way. Because of this line. I don't know how many days it will take. If you can't find suitable food during the hike. Dried fish can at least provide itself with thousands of calories. Maintain basal metabolism. Avoid excessive consumption of body fat until a good source of fat is found. Every gram of fat in the body is extremely precious. In a blink of an eye. The sun sets in the west. Morning to sunset. Distant horizon. Flock of birds beautiful. Stay in front of the bonfire. Jiang Kui waited for dinner to come out. Looking at the sunset. He frowned and watched the celestial phenomenon. Right now, because I'm on a desert island. In addition to the basic sunrise and sunset and seasonal changes, to infer the approximate timing of the onset of the rainy season. Just watch the sky from time to time. After a few days of groping. According to the fluctuation of the tides, Jiang Kui knew he was in the southern hemisphere. The location is probably in the South Pacific. The rainy season in the South Pacific is quite different from that in the North Pacific. Long time. The rainfall is amazing. It lasts from February to August every year. Period. Typhoon and showers will visit often. Look at the southeast in the morning and the northwest in the evening. Without Professional props. Jiang Kui can only observe this proverb right now. Point at the same time. This is also the only law for distinguishing weather in the early days of human beings. As for the principle, it is very simple. Point the earth itself rotates at a uniform speed from west to east. Point the air in the atmosphere moves with the earth from west to east. Point look southeasterly. If the weather is good in the east, it means that the bad weather will pass and weather will be fine in the future. Point vice versa. Point it is likely that the weather will gradually turn worse as the weather in the south moves north. Point northwest at night. Point the black clouds in the northwest sky are rolling, indicating that there will be a precipitation process moving into the local area in the future, and the weather will turn bad. Point if it is sunny in the northwest, the weather will be better in the future. Point at this moment in the sky in the northwest, in addition to the splendid sunset, large swaths of dark clouds are surging undercurrents. Not surprisingly. Point sometime in the future. Point most likely there will be a rain coming. Point certainly. Point this is not absolute either. It can only be said that the probability is very high. Point but no matter what, the arrival of the rainy season is a sure thing. Call. Let out a long breath. Jiang Kui made up his mind. Point decided to leave tomorrow. Point leave the sea. Point deep into the hinterland. Now he can only race against the clock. Point after all, the sooner you leave, the sooner you can find the camp and the supplies you need, and in the confrontation with nature. Point even that slight advantage. Point also strive for it. Soon. Point night falls with the envy of billions of viewers around the world. Jiang Kui enjoyed an ingenious lobster feast. The lobster is not big, though. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.